Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Smashy Business Show. I am Warit Ahmed.
And I'm Abdul Majid.
It is the 13th of January today, and big things are happening
Yeah.
in Dubai right now. We have the 1 billion summit. It's absolutely insane. Are you seeing the videos from this weekend?
Yeah, everyone's there.
Even,
That's the
even
thing.
His Highness Sheikh Mohamed was there.
I saw videos of him just taking it around, and he went to a panel session which was happening, and the people were in awe. And the interesting thing was the people with him and himself. He was like, continue, continue.
Yeah.
So these leaders, they don't feel that they're the biggest person in the room. They're like, no, we're common people among people.
Yeah.
So you continue with whatever you're doing. I'm just here to see. So that's a very good thing.
And I think what was so beautiful, Majid, is when you watch the video of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed coming into one of the panels, the influencers that were sitting on the panels, to just see their faces. Even I got goosebumps when I was watching it. No, I really did, because honestly, this was very unexpected. I would have never predicted that something like this would have happened. Like, this to me really reaffirmed how important this summit is.
Yeah.
I did think it was important before, but to see that. Oh, and by the way, today actually, the founder and CEO of Love in Dubai is going to be at the 1 billion summit. He has a speech, and it's going to be from 12:55 to 1:20 p.m., I believe. So that's going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, Richard is going to talk about navigating the complexities of digital media, audience engagement, storytelling, company building, and a very long topic. But basically, the idea is, how do you build a brand in this day and age? And how do you retain audience? And digital media is the media right now, to be honest. The big media houses, some of them have survived. I was reading on Friday, actually. Didn't read on Saturday and Sunday. Was very busy with family and other stuff. But on Friday, there was a report that Wall Street Journal has laid down nearly 100 people. So the legacy media, it's very difficult for them to survive in this economy. Everyone wants to put their brand, every marketing company, all the money is going towards digital. And that is what he is going to talk about, mainly that how we build a brand, Lovin brand, and now Smashy. We're trying to build it. It's a BB brand now.
I think with Richard, especially if you watch the Beyond the Business Card podcast, his story, it's truly so inspiring. It's not just laden with numbers, but it's honestly, it's so emotional, and I think it's so beautiful. And just like, being a part of Augustus Media and working here, it's like, if there's one thing that I've learned from him, it's speed. It's speed. If you want to be the best in media, you have to be the quickest in media. So I'm so interested in what he has to say. I really am.
You should also, if you're going there, join that fireside chat and see what Rich has to say about building a brand, audience retention, all the stuff that you can do on digital media.
But on a real note, how was your weekend, Majid?
I went to Dubai Safari Park.
How was it?
It was actually all booked. I went for the night safari experience. It finished on Sunday. So from December 13th to January 13th, for a month, they had a night safari experience. So they have a whole habitat built inside Dubai Safari Park. So usually when you go, you pay 75 dirhams, and there are 6 regions, so you can go to all of them. 6 was there, now it's 5. One is closed for winters. Those animals don't want to live in winter, so they're transported back. So 5 regions, Asian, Arabian, African, so all these villages, you can go there. Yeah, so it's a very, very, very big place. Every winter, I make it a point to go there.
Which animal was your favorite?
All animals are my favorite. That's the thing. My son loves them, and the good thing is they're not like limited in cages. It's a safari park. It's not like a zoo where you go and you see a lion in a like 4x4 room. You see its natural habitat. So it lives in its natural habitat. It's a conservation place as well. So there are a lot of endangered species that are there. I remember one of the goat-like creature. I don't remember the name. Sorry, but those are there. So they're like in 2,500. The tigers, Bengal tigers are there. They have three or four Bengal tigers. The guide was telling me there's only 2,500 left in the world. And the most interesting thing, I never knew this about tigers, that they don't want to live with anyone else. They're very solitary creatures. So they nearly, the average size of their area is 100 kilometers. So they'll mark it with their scent. And if any other tiger, even a female, she tries to come into their area, they'll fight it. They'll be like, go away. So they kill each other a lot. I never knew this about tigers. I have seen Sher Khan in Jungle Book and all these tigers. I always thought they lived in herds, but lions do. Lions live in a family. They go to an area. If the male lion is old, they'll go fight the male lion and take the whole area. Tigers don't do that. Tigers live alone.
Just alone.
Yeah, they're the most loneliest creature I've found there. Everything, the monkeys were in like a whole pack. The cows, the nilgai, everything was together. The tigers are like, sorry, love to live alone, don't want anything. So the females, they make an area of 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
They have a smaller area which they mark, but the male tigers, they mark a 100-kilometer area.
Wow.
So yeah, apart from that, it's a very good thing.
That's so interesting, Majid, that you say that, they like to be solitary because solitary is honestly the complete opposite of what me and my family stand for. Like, no, seriously, I mean, no, but especially my family. No, I emphasize it, especially my family. You know, the amount of people, like far relatives who I've known who've visited my family and say, I have never laughed this much in my life. You know, every single day with my family, we actually gather together about like 7, 8 p.m. and we just sit together for like a good 2 to 3 hours. Not on our phones, nobody's doing anything, and we're just like having discussions and we're laughing and like family meetings. And Majid, we do it without fail every single day. Every single day.
That's the good thing about family.
It's so nice. It's like, honestly, I cannot imagine having a small family. I don't think I can do it. I think I would be sad and I'd be lonely and I'd never cope. No, seriously, I mean it. Because imagine you arrive home, like, and then you have lunch, and then like about 7 people sit with you every single day. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. If there's one thing that the Sudanese war has brought upon us that I'm so grateful for, is that it brought all my family to me.
Nice.
It's that it did that. No, really,
I've lived
I mean
in a nuclear family, so I understand the sentiment because
so
whenever we
nice.
went to our hometown, we would love the feeling that at breakfast, at lunch, even evening tea, night dinner, as soon as it finishes, everyone sits together, talks about different stuff. So the male people will go in the corner, talk about politics, finances, this, that, new opportunities. Women will be talking about the new episode of the new drama, what else is going to happen. Some of them are talking about their school, what are they doing in the school and everything. So yeah, it's a very nice. Family is always nice. You always have some people to talk to.
And it's so comforting, and especially in a country like the UAE. The reason why I know what I have is so special, and it's honestly such a privilege that I'm so grateful for, is because I see a lot of expats here who are so lonely. No, really. By the way, it is kind of an issue here. A lot of people, they don't have their family with them. So the fact that I can come home and I can sit with 2 of my grandmothers, my aunts, my siblings, we can all just sit together, my cousins. It's like Majid, I would not trade anything else in the world. Like, especially this weekend, like, it was crazy.
Reminds me of a funny thing that last year around November, the UAE government, the cabinet meeting, which was headed by the UAE ruler Sheikh Mohamed, they decided that the 3 focus areas for the UAE in the next year, like 2025, one was obviously artificial intelligence and technology. The second was around, I don't remember exactly, but the third thing was family values. That we'll try to build more families, grow families, try to come out of that nuclear setup, and also tell people to get more kids. So they're trying to facilitate the process.
They are doing that here.
For citizens especially. They want them to grow the population of Emiratis. So it's a very nice thing that the government, usually when you talk about a government, they talk about, this much money, this much revenue, profits, losses, we are building roads and this. They actually had one of the points for 2025 was family. So this is very interesting. Just a thought came to my mind when you were talking about family. So they don't want people to feel like tigers. They want them to live like lions with big herds, 5 sons, daughters. So yeah,
And,
they
and
want.
we are seeing it in their projects. Like just
Yeah.
very recently, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, he announced the housing projects that were worth 5.4 billion dirhams, about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$1.4 billion dollars. And just very recently, they also announced that, if you get married, you're going to get support. You're
Yeah.
going to get funding. So, and it's great that they're pushing for this because honestly, Majid, I did not know how much I needed my family until they came.
Yeah.
When you have that sense of community, when you have that, that outside perspective, that outside wisdom that you would have never had before, it's seriously such amazing wisdom to
Yeah.
have. And coming up for our first topic, Mohamed Alabbar has amazing wisdom about real estate properties. So he has expressed optimism about real estate and how the prices are going to be. However, he has warned against overinflated prices. He said you don't want to kill the golden goose.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
And we've seen in Dubai, the property prices are humongous,
They're
to be honest.
crazy.
The penthouses, like Neymar bought it for 200 million recently with Bengati. The prices are inflated. But to be honest, what I believe is there is demand. That is why the prices are going up. It's a very basic financial function.
Yeah.
You've studied finance.
Yeah.
Demand is equal to higher prices.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And even this year, by the way, they recorded $6 billion in transactions in the real estate sector in the UAE, according to Arabian Business. And for Neymar, by the way, it was $54 million.
Yeah, so nearly
Crazy.
200 million there.
I believe it was Bugatti residences
Bugatti.
by Bengati.
Yeah.
It was
Those
really
are all
crazy.
luxury residences that Bengati is building. So yeah, it's a very big thing that not small people, everyone is coming here to invest. It's not normal for you to see that, just someone came and invested. They actually getting, like in Dubai, whatever real estate firm, contractor, builder, developer, whoever is related with real estate industry, you talk to them and they will promise you 6 to 7% return. So if you invest 1 million, you'll get at least 60, 70,000 every year out of it. So they're promising return because they know the industry is growing. It's not a bubble.
Yeah.
Bubbles, you see that people come, invest, and they transact out. Here, the transactions are happening everyday basis. The
Yeah.
best thing is you can go to the DLD website and see it live. So they have record of every transaction because in Dubai you have Ijari, which is a government contract. So the government comes between the tenant and the renting guy, the landlord. So they always come in between, and the contract is called Ijari.
Yeah.
So they have information of every small transaction, rent, sales. So you can see it live on DLD. So it's not like someone is just randomly saying these numbers. It's all there. You can actually see it.
But Majid, with this specific story over here, Mohamed Al-Abbar coming to say, you don't want to kill the golden goose.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're speaking about him, I think we all have to realize it's Mohamed Al-Abbar.
Yeah.
It's Mohamed Al-Abbar. I mean, this is the person who has founded Emmar Properties. I'd honestly predict that, to me, it's one of the most successful real estate developers in the UAE. I mean, they're the reason why we have Burj Khalifa. They're the reason why we have the biggest mall in the world, the Dubai Mall. They've done everything extravagant. So for me, for a man who has built such a successful real estate empire to come and say, don't kill the golden goose. You don't want to overinflate your prices so much that you actually you put off investors. They don't want to come and buy from you. It's interesting that he says it out of everyone.
Yeah. The main thing is that, see, every industry, you pick up any industry, be it music industry, as menial as a poultry, eggs industry, like egg selling and buying and all that, poultry industry, and something so big as real estate property. There's always going to be bad actors, one or two. So this is, to be honest, what I think he's pointing towards them, that they are selling projects at very high prices and they're ruining the market. Otherwise, you go to any big building. If, for example, if you're buying a 1 BHK for 1 million and on the same hand, you go to a very expensive neighborhood, Business Bay, like Dubai Marina, JBR or anything, and you see the same 1 BHK for 10 million, there is going to be difference in the construction. You'll get Italian marble, this, that. So with price, whatever price you're giving, you're getting something with it. Remember, we had Kabir Joshi here. He's also one of the luxury builders. He's built 4 or 5 buildings. And he was like, if I promise something, I deliver it. If I'm promising taps from one of the best brands in the world, I will put those taps. So he's like, but some people in the market actually are not doing that. They'll promise you a brand, you go buy off-plan property, and you just see the model apartment, and you're like, okay, Italian marble, this tile, that.
That's beautiful. But when you see it in real time,
yeah, they change
something
everything, and
completely
then they're
different.
like, okay, sorry, we couldn't find this, we couldn't source this. So they have hundreds of reasons. So the main idea is, what he is saying is, he's pointing to the bad actors, that you're dealing in a market which is very good, very right. Even if you sell it properly, don't lie, don't cheat, you're going to make money. So just don't kill the golden goose, like
Of
trying to
course.
hyperinflate the prices because you want to just build one building and become a millionaire from it.
And by the way, like it's what the point that he makes. It's so good because it's, you know, if you promise people something that you don't give them, you immediately destroy your brand's reputation. And this has happened to people in my family before, Majid. You know, when you're actually presented these like photos of what, you know, the home that you're gonna buy is gonna look like, that's gonna be handed to you like maybe 5 years, 10 years later, and you think to yourself, this is amazing, but then you buy it, you get the home, and you pull out the photo. And I've seen this happen in real time, by the way. Like my family members pulling out the photos, looking at the home they bought and saying,
What is
hey,
this?
no, really, like, hey, this does not look the
Yeah.
same. We want to swap.
It's
We
like
want
buying
something
clothes.
else.
To be honest, what I think of it as like
That's why
buying clothes.
always try it.
Yeah.
Always try it out.
You go to
Always
a place,
try it
you
out.
see the online catalog, the models wearing those clothes, and you're like, this is the best piece of design and clothing I've ever seen. But there's lighting, there's 10 different things. You go to the place and you look at the cloth and you're like, not red at all. It looks
Yeah.
red, but here it's not red at all. So it's the same with property. It's a bigger investment. So just go and see. And off-plan is a big market, but I still think people in Dubai prefer a ready apartment because they don't have to wait. The off-plan market where there's just like land, people go and buy it for investment purposes. But the real buyers who want to live in those houses, they go and see the house and live it.
Yeah. And, you know, just on the topic of markets, our second topic for today is all about technology services markets. So a Statistica report has just actually come out, and it's predicting that the UAE is going to witness a $3.8 billion increase in the technology services market in 2025. And when I take a look at this, Majid, the reason why this number in itself, it's so special, $3.8 billion, is because I've said this before, but honestly, technology has become the new gold.
Yeah.
Technology has become the new gold. And we see it in media, you know, we see it in computer science. All of these industries, they're booming, and they're doing so well because of the fact that, you know, AI is rising. Everything is rising, and more we are using technology so much. Everyone is on their phone. I mean, come on, Majid, what's your screen time? Like, tell me.
I don't use the phone a lot.
Oh, okay.
People hate me for it that I don't reply to them.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, screen time, we work on screens. So that
I'm going to check mine.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Screen time.
That way, I guess, because we work on screens every day, and nearly every job now requires a screen, a laptop,
We
or
can't be
something.
blamed.
Yeah, but the other screen time, like scrolling through Insta, TikTok, and all that stuff, I try to avoid it as much as possible because I don't know, it has become too boring.
You think?
The only thing I go to Instagram or TikTok is for comedy reels to just loosen up for like 5 minutes. Apart from that, I don't think if it doesn't add to my knowledge or if it doesn't add to my like
My screen
skills,
time is horrible.
it's fine
It's really, it's like
It's
up
fine.
to 8 hours.
every day.
Yeah.
So you sleep for 8 hours, you work for 8 hours, and the rest
Oh
of 8
my
hours you're on your
God.
phone.
Hey, but if you think about it, we are digital
Yeah.
journalists.
So we usually use our phone
We
for
kind of
it.
do have to be on our phone
Yeah.
all the time. By the way, that's why I feel less guilty having high screen time now.
Yeah.
No, seriously, ever since I started this job, I used to feel so guilty. I'd get myself off the phone, I'd get reading. But now I'm like, no, it's my job. Like me being online and me knowing what's happening in the market all the time, it's great. It's absolutely amazing. Why not?
Yeah, why not? But again, part of the job, so I don't think it's bad. But coming back to UAE, this tech investment, mostly I guess it's driven by AI. because they're trying to become the hub for AI in the Middle East. Saudi is trying to become a hub for AI in the Middle East. Both of these countries are in a race, and that is why it's going up. Every year we see new investment. 2025, we're waiting for a lot of announcements. Obviously, there'll come millions and billions of dollars of investments in data centers, AI startups, and all that. 2024, we saw so many of them. Thanks to G42.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, were this itching to do a whole piece
am.
on what G42
I'm
is,
waiting,
the giant
I'm
that they're
waiting.
built.
Because
Yeah.
basically, what me and Majid found out, so G42, just for more context, it's chaired by Sheikh Tahnoon,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting because they're actually the leading AI company in the UAE. And the reason why I'm itching for a story is because G42, when you actually search up like 42 number meaning, the meaning, it's so interesting. It actually, the number 42 symbolizes the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. And I find that so interesting because this is intentional.
It was by some author in some book where he made it, and then all the technology enthusiasts turned it into an idea, into a theoretical number that, actually it means something. But yeah, G42, then Core 42, then Space 42. There's so many 42s now under them. So yeah, the main idea is that G42, as soon as it was built last year, they've invested in literally everything. They've invested in through MGX. MGX is merger, like a joint venture between Mubadala and G42. So there's so much there to unearth and to put in properly. So most probably we'll do a whole family tree of what comes where and everything. But yeah, that's a good idea.
And also what I love is that, the UAE, just on the topic of technology, the technology market, it's actually doing so much with technology, not only G42. Just recently, we saw how they purchased Astratech completely, meaning that they own Botim completely, which I know is so dear to so many of your hearts. But, we're seeing it with also Damac Hills. Just recently, Hussein Sajwani partnered with Donald Trump to build a $20 billion data centers in the U.S. So we're seeing how they're directing their focus to technology. They're doing so much with technology, and just on the topic of new things, this is our final topic of the day. So Emirates Airlines is setting a new standard in exclusive travel as it officially becomes the world's first autism certified airline. So this is when I say that they've become the first autism certified airline, what they're actually doing and what it means is that they're going to train their staff to provide passengers with autism with personalized services. And Majid, when I take a look at this, really, it's so personal to me because I've said this before. My brother has autism. And, when you actually experience how it feels to travel, with someone with such a case, when I read this, I think of my mom. Really, I think of my mom, I think of my dad, and I think of my sister, and I think of the struggles that we have of, sometimes people not accommodating to that. So to have such a service, I know that when I go home today and I tell my mom, she's going to be so happy. No, really, she's going to be so happy because it's like in planes, you honestly never know what's going to happen. You never know if someone's going to be sick. You never know if, they need to change their clothes. And we've experienced this before, by the way, where my brother needs to change his clothes and all the bathrooms are filled with people. They're all, so it's like to finally have staff that know what to do and know how to act if one of them gets sick. Because my brother has gotten sick in airlines before. And it's like, it's such a techie situation because it's like my mother has had to deal with the entire situation on the seat. And she would tell me Ward, take my scarf, cover your brother, do something like that. So, we had to DIY. We had to DIY. So it's to read this and see that something like this is coming and that they're going to know how to act and they're going to know how to help parents and people who are taking care of people with determination. It's so beautiful. And, Emirates Airlines, it's not the first to do this. The UAE in itself, it stands for this. They gave them such a special name, people with determination. And no other country has done this, Majid. Whenever I tell my cousins in the UK, she's a pharmacist and she works for the NHS. Whenever I tell her how accommodating the UAE is for people with autism here, she's always so shocked. She really is. So it's such a special name. And it's like, Majid, like, you know, when I see projects like this, the reason why they really touch my heart, it's because of the fact that, you know, we're all making a difference. We are all making a difference. Like, you know, the staff that they're training, they're probably working shifts.
Yeah.
You know, we're working shifts too. And it's like, and I mentioned this because me and Majid were having a conversation this morning of how do you motivate yourself to do corporate? How do you motivate yourself to do the 8 to 5 that, you know, me and Majid do? It's because everything has meaning. No, really, everything does have meaning. Like, you know, Majid, I remember when I used to be a sales associate for Lush, you know, when a job gets repetitive and it gets mundane and you're coming in every single day, it's like what breaks you out of it, it's things like these. Like I remember I had this situation, Majid, where this customer came in and she was really angry. No, she was really angry. She was like, nobody talk to me. And she said it. It's not even she gave that energy. She said it like, nobody talk to me. And I remember my manager eyed me and she's like, Ward, try. Like, go after her. And I was like, you know, she just came for one thing, one very tiny thing that costed 65. I'll tell you what I did. I went and I spoke to her. I was like, hey girl. And we had a conversation. And then I actually sold her something she didn't come for that cost 500. Yeah, I did. I managed to. It was just like a scrub and this skin conditioner. And I turned her mood, like she became happy and then she left. But this is where the story happens. She came back 2 weeks later in a morning shift that I have. And keep in mind, Majid, at that time I worked at different shifts. So I'd never see people again. Imagine, I saw her on the day that she was leaving to her flight. And you know what she told me? She told me, by the way, I have been struggling with cancer for 8 years. And I have chemotherapy. For the first time in my life, because of the products that you sold me, my skin feels moisturized. No matter how much water I drink, my skin never feels good. And for the first time in 8 years, it does. Imagine it brought tears to my eyes and it made me sit there and think to myself, you know, and this is to say to all of you, no matter how much you think that, you know, we're doing something mundane, we're coming every single day, at the same time, you are making a difference. Yeah. Whatever it is, whether, you know, it's helping people with autism that, you know, the staff in Emirates is going to do, whether it's educating people, whether it's making them aware, what we at Smashy Business do, or, you know, what happened with this chemotherapy patient, you're always making a difference, whether you realize it or not, it's always there. Yeah. But yeah. What are you thinking, Majid?
Thank you for Jay Shetty. Her middle name is now Jay Shetty. And all the other motivational speakers. Yeah, to be honest, to agree with you, things, whatever you do, like it's the ripple effect, whatever, even the smallest thing that you do makes a difference. And Emirates doing this, it's to be honest, you go to an airline, they're like, oh, we're taking you from point A to B. It's fine. That's our job. And that is actually their job. You pay the money and they fly you from point A to B. But what I see with Emirates, and I recently experienced it, I traveled to Pakistan through another airline, and I came back and I told my wife, if I have to pay 100 or 150 dirhams above and take the Emirates airline, I will. I will never travel by any other airline. They actually spoil you with the food that they give you, with the smile that, even the smile at the door when you're entering the aircraft, it's so majestic. Obviously, every aircraft, every airline, they treat you very nicely. But Emirates has a way of spoiling you. They will never let you fly on any other airline with the way that they treat you. Because my son, he's a kid, so he's a kid. He will do whatever it takes to make your life miserable in an airplane. So already sorry for that. But kids usually are the most difficult to deal with. And then kids with autism, they are more difficult because I study biology. I understand those, things with whatever happens in autism. The main thing is those kids can be triggered by even the smallest of things, their ear closing when the ear takes off.
Noise, too much noise, too much happening.
This training, if they didn't do it, Emirates, it wouldn't have made a difference. They would still be the best airline I like and everyone likes. But they did it. Even still, they did it. Because that's what value addition is. You don't just want to give people travel from A to B. You want to give them an experience in that 1.5 to 2 hours.
In an actual plane.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you say this, Majid, because I was telling a family member of mine yesterday that I have not flown in an airplane in 8 years. In 8 years. And I was like, I'm not even just craving the traveling to another country and experiencing another culture. I'm actually craving the plane experience. I'm actually craving the Emirates experience. No, really, I mean it. Like, I just love being in a plane. Like being
hate
in a
it.
plane, especially Emirates Airlines. Why? Why do you hate it?
I don't know. This
Oh,
time stops
wow.
for me. I don't
No
know how people do
way.
the 14-hour or 24-hour flights. For me, even 1.5, 2 hours is like I'm in some place where I can't move around because I'm a very anxious person. I just keep moving around, standing, sitting,
Yeah.
going there, going to. So sitting like this for like 1.5 hour, I'm like,
Ah.
when will it get
You know, Majid,
over?
it's funny that you say that you don't like it because of the fact that time stops for you. But that's exactly why I love it.
Yeah.
I like how time stops. I like how nobody can be like, yo, Ward, do this.
Yeah,
Like, go do. No, I'm in the plane. I'm on my
you can't do
seat.
anything.
I'm watching my movie. Or I could be doing work on my laptop.
Yeah.
It's like no one can bother me. I'm in the plane. I have no obligation to any of you people. And I love that so much.
Uh, yeah, so Emirates is doing great things, things they are not required to do, but they want to do actually to make your experience better
And
on
it's so
flight.
amazing. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is the Smashy Business Show, a Smashy Business production under the Augustus Media Podcast Network. You can find our newsletter on Smashy TV, and please feel free to follow us on all of our socials. Have a lovely Monday, a lovely, great start to the week. Yeah, thank you.